Thor is going to die in Avengers Doomsday, and not as some surprise twist, but as something Marvel has been planning for years. I'm about to show you the clues they've been hiding in plain sight, the missing pieces behind all the schedule changes, and why everything points to Thor making his final stand in this movie. And yes, Thor 5 is still happening, even if he dies. Stick with me and I'll explain everything. On May 28th, Chris Hemsworth uploaded a video to YouTube titled "Thank You, The Legacy of Thor." Now at first, you might think, oh, it's just a sweet montage for longtime fans. It's 2 minutes long. It shows scenes from all of Hemsworth's major appearances: Thor, The Avengers, Ragnarok, Endgame, even Love and Thunder. There's triumphant music, dramatic slow-mo, and loving cuts of the God of Thunder throughout the MCU. Feels like a classic Marvel celebration. But if you really listen to it, and think about when it was posted, something's off. This tribute feels too emotional, too timely, especially considering what's coming. Because remember, Hemsworth doesn't just talk about how fun the character is, he literally says, "Playing Thor has been one of the greatest honors of my life." He talks like a man wrapping things up, like someone who knows the end is coming. And he's not the only one speaking. Marvel brought out the full squad: Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, Taika Waititi, and even Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. They all pop in to talk about Thor's legacy, his growth, his humor, his heart, and what he's meant to the MCU.
And we always knew we wanted to find an amazing performer who had the chops to perform this character as we saw him.
They aren't just reflecting, they're memorializing. It almost feels like we're watching the in memoriam reel before the funeral. And that's where this gets even more interesting, because this whole tribute eerily mirrors what happened back in 2018 with Chris Evans. If you remember, Evans posted a heartfelt message to fans after wrapping filming on Avengers Endgame. In it, he called the role of Captain America an honor, thanked the cast and crew, and left fans wondering if this was his final outing. People speculated, of course, but nothing was confirmed until the movie came out, and Cap handed over the shield. It wasn't just speculation, it was foreshadowing. So now here we are again, another beloved original Avenger, another emotional farewell post, another epic crossover on the horizon. But this time, it's not just any movie. It's Avengers Doomsday, the film that's expected to reshape the entire multiverse and kill off multiple major heroes.
And making a great movie, and I'll say it's fantastic to be back together with a lot of the old cast and a lot of new cast, and kind of feel like one of the elders now. And I remember 10 years ago, I was kind of looking around going, oh wow, what am I doing? And now all of a sudden I'm sort of, you know, in a different, well, I don't know about a teacher, but I'm older, that's for sure.
You see what I'm saying? Hemsworth's tribute might look like a nostalgic love letter to Thor's journey. But what if it's his goodbye? What if Marvel is once again soft-launching the death of a core Avenger, just like they did before Endgame? Let's be real, you don't put Chris Hemsworth front and center in your biggest Avengers movie since Endgame just for nostalgia. Thor isn't a background player this time. He's gonna be the second lead of Avengers Doomsday, and Marvel is making that loud and clear. When the official cast was revealed, Hemsworth's name and face were first, the first chair on the screen, the first legacy hero listed, and who was last? Robert Downey Jr. himself. That's not just a coincidence, that's a message. They're bookending this film with two of the most iconic figures in MCU history, and the stakes are deeply personal. Because Doom isn't just causing chaos across the multiverse, he's going after Loki. And there's no way Thor lets that slide. If there's one thing that's been constant across all his movies, it's that Thor will always fight to protect his brother. Think back to Infinity War, the very first scene. Thor helpless as Thanos chokes the life out of Loki. Loki's last words: "The sun will shine on us again."
I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again.
A glimmer of hope that maybe one day they'd get another chance. Loki is the key to the multiverse, and Doom knows it, which means Thor will stop at nothing to reach him first, even if it kills him. And here's where it gets even heavier. A trusted leaker recently claimed that Avengers Doomsday will feature the suicide of a major Avenger, a massive sacrifice to protect someone important. That word wasn't used lightly. This won't be some quick, noble act. It'll be a gut-wrenching, irreversible moment. Thor sacrificing himself to save Loki? That's not just poetic, it's full circle. The God of Thunder, who once chased glory and battle for himself, now giving everything for the person he loves most. It's the only kind of death that would truly redeem the mistakes of Love and Thunder, and solidify Thor's arc once and for all. And if you think Marvel won't go there, just remember, they killed off Iron Man and Black Widow in Endgame. They're not afraid of finality when the story demands it. And this time, it looks like Thor's time is up. And Thor dying in Avengers Doomsday? It's not a last-minute change. It's been the plan all along, even back when this movie was still called Avengers Kang Dynasty. How do I know? Let's look at the dates Marvel had lined up before everything changed. Kang Dynasty was scheduled to hit theaters May 2nd, 2025. And what was supposed to follow right after that? Thor 5, set to begin filming just months later in fall 2025. So think about this. Why would Marvel be planning another Thor movie right after an Avengers film unless they had something massive planned for him in that crossover? Because the plan, from the start, was for Thor to fall, to die a warrior's death, to go out in a blaze of glory, but not for it to be the end. That's where Thor 5 comes in. It's not canceled, not forgotten, just transformed. Because I'm 99% sure this new movie won't be about the living Thor walking the 9 realms. It's going to be about Valhalla, the Asgardian afterlife, a place we've barely seen, a corner of the MCU filled with ancient warriors, lost gods, and untold power, and it's wide open for exploration. After Thor dies in Doomsday, we follow him into the afterlife, but he won't be resting. He'll be fighting to protect Valhalla itself, a realm that, according to Norse myth and Marvel Comics, has its own enemies. Monsters like the Midgard Serpent, cosmic forces like the Black Winter, even the Chaos King, a being of pure destruction that threatens all gods and all realities. Imagine this, a resurrected Thor, fighting alongside the spirits of Odin, Frigga, Heimdall, and even Jane Foster one last time to protect the realm of the honored dead. It would be emotional, epic, and a full redemption for the Love and Thunder version that many fans felt missed the mark. Marvel knows Thor's story deserves a better send-off, and Avengers Doomsday is just the beginning of that final chapter. His death sets it in motion, but his legacy? It's far from over. If there's one thing Marvel has learned over the years, it's how to end a legacy right. Think of Logan. Think of Endgame. Think of the feeling you got when Tony snapped his fingers or Steve handed over the shield. Now ask yourself, would they really let the last original Avenger fade out quietly? No chance. Thor's been through it all, from losing his entire family and his homeworld, to blaming himself for the snap, to becoming the goofy comic relief in Love and Thunder. But underneath all that is a warrior who still hasn't had his final moment. A final stand, a Logan-level goodbye. And guess what? We might have already seen a glimpse of it. There's a moment where we see Thor crying.
Is that me? Is that Thor? Is he crying?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's quick, it's strange, but it's not random. Marvel doesn't do random. What if that's a hint? What if Deadpool is teasing what's to come? A broken Thor, mourning someone, or preparing for a fate he knows is coming? Because think about it. Chris Hemsworth has been saying this character changed his life. Kevin Feige called him one of the pillars of the MCU. And Hemsworth himself has said, if Thor's story ends, it has to mean something. Not just a cameo, not just a joke. A moment that shakes the multiverse. A moment that leaves fans in silence, just like Logan's cross turned into an X. Doom-killing Thor won't just be shock value. It'll be the final chapter of the Infinity Saga's last surviving god. And when that happens, the MCU won't just lose a hero. So yeah, this is all lining up to be a full circle moment. Marvel's official YouTube channel even posted a video titled Thor and Loki Brotherly Moments, a compilation, a tribute. Right now, before Doomsday even drops. That's not random. You don't post emotional montages like that unless you're preparing fans for something big, something final. Marvel has been planting seeds for this ending since the very first Thor movie. 2 brothers, 1 crown, 1 redemption. And now it ends with one of them making the ultimate sacrifice. Loki's journey has already come full circle. Thor's hasn't, but it will, and Marvel knows it.